hands. Bezar getting lots of big hands at the final table. And RG legit making a very legit shove from the button. But he's running into a Mack truck in the form of Bezar's million final table right now. Aces has RG legit crushed. Tough for him to find a way out, and in fact, he can't. So RJ legit will have to be content with 6. Great run through the tournament for him. Of course, all of these players have gone through over 5,700 players to reach this final table. But RJ, 6 as far as it goes. Our last remaining Canadian, $36,500 richer. And we're 5-handed. And ISO DJ, a player we haven't seen much from in this highlight show so far, will open with Jack 10. Crusher John, who likes a flat call, I've written down here. Let's see if he continues to like a flat call. I'm doing air quotes. You can't see that. No, change it up. He will shove his deuces. ISO DJ now in a horrible spot, and I guess that's the problem with opening when you've got that kind of stack. A substandard hand ends up burning off some chips there when he gets shoved on. Hand 91, and Cuzco will fold. Cuzco won the Sunday Special back in November, so he's another player with some final table form. BMKY with the big hand here, pocket kings, and ISO. He's thinking about this. He's got less than 10 big blinds. He's got a pretty looking hand, but not a hand that's great to get your money in with. He'll decide to flat call. I'm not quite sure what the plan is here. I know it looks pretty, but, well, now, obviously, things are made a lot easier. He's flopped the flush draw and the gut shot. BMKY still with the best hand, but it's a lot closer than it was. Well, ISO's thinking about this. He could, I guess, he could actually open shove or something weird like that, because then he might get a few folds from BMKY, but he decides to lead, and I guess he probably does get some folds this way. You know, if BMKY's got King Queen or something, he might get it to lay him down. We know ISO DJ's got a big draw, but he only has Jack High right now. BMKY will put his money in. ISO DJ must call, it says here, and he does. And there's 10 million in the middle. ISO DJ needs to catch here, needs to hit his draw. 2 of spades won't get it done. BMKY sweating the big overpair, and he will ride those cowboys home. ISO DJ is out, and BMKY is very much in this. Over 13 million now. ISO DJ from Finland takes home $48,000, and we're 4-handed in the million. 250,000, 500,000 blinds. So Bezar, your chip leader, has got plenty of chips. The rest of them somewhat short stacked. Crusher John opens with ace deuce. And this is a little bit of a funny one. He's got 8 million, so he's got 16 big blinds. I presume he's not going to fold if he gets re-raised, but we'll find out. If he does, and he does. Cuzco shoves on him, so it's Crusher John opening to call. Or is he actually going to fold here? He does fold. Well, I'm not a short stack expert, but I don't think you should be doing that with that stack. You have to be really, really certain that the guys shoving only shove really tight. Cuzco with a nicely timed bit of aggression, and he's rewarded with kings on the button. It's a great spot, this, isn't it? When you're short-handed and you've got big blinds and antes, players will expect you to open the button on autopilot. And he's doing it with a huge hand. He's taking the Hollywooding a bit far here. And he's betting in binary. This is a new thing we've been doing at the Sunday Million final table recently. Second time someone's gone for the binary bet. It's proving very successful. The kids love it. BMKY potentially thinking about making the re-steal. It would be bad timing on his part, though he obviously is not to know that. Cusco's an aggressive player, so perfectly standard attempt to re-steal from BMKY here. Now, how would you play this if you were Cusco? Both of you have got some chips behind, not tons of chips. But how do you get BMKY's money in? Do you just put the money in and make it look like a big aggressive re-steal and hope to get called by some marginal hands? Or is there enough room to make a little? Probably isn't enough room to make a little 4-bet. So, yeah, in goes the money. And unfortunately for Cusco, BMKY doesn't have a real hand. I guess Cusco might have flirted with the idea of flat calling and trying to get BMKY to hit a pair on the flop and get his money that way, I guess. But played it straightforward, and that can never be too far wrong. He's over 16 million now, clear second place in this tournament. Him and BMKY will fold and take a breather. And Bezar will set Crusher Jun in. Crusher Jun with only about 13 big blinds. And he has a pocket pair, will be off to the races once more. Vital race, this one for Crusher Jun. Needs his threes to hold up, and they don't get past the flop, I'm afraid. Big flop for Bezar CZ. 2 pair. Crusher Jun crushed in this one. Needs to find a 3 on the river. And unfortunately, no miracle for him. He's out the tournament. 4th place is a great run. $64,000 for the German player, and we're 3-handed in the million.
Growing up on the circuit, everyone wanted to offer me advice. When to bet, when to fold, when to raise, what to wear, what to eat. But there was one piece of advice that took me to a new level.
Daniel, don't do anything stupid.
At PokerStars.com, there's a tournament starting every second. Develop your game at the world's largest poker site.
Welcome back, you. The Online Poker Show free roll is happening on July the 7th. We give you a free shot at getting in the million. How kind is that? 3:35 Eastern Time. The password is Hashem. Hashem. Here are your remaining players with a chance at the really big money. Bezar CZ from the Czech Republic, Cusco from Peru, and BMKY from Singapore. I didn't need to tell you the countries. You knew all those flags, right? Of course you did. Especially the middle one. Cusco and BMKY are second and third, and their chip stacks don't make the total of Bezar, who's in control of this tournament right now. Things have gone his way. He's been playing pretty aggressively, and that's fatal combination we see work so often of aggression plus getting some cards. Almost impossible when a good aggressive player picks up cards in No Limit Hold'em. They are going to get the monies. Can the other two do anything about it? Well, we might be starting 3-handed action with a confrontation between them. Cusco has opened here, and BMKY will shove. Very aggressive shove, and he doesn't get the fold he was probably looking for. Cusco in command here, and BMKY could be out. No, not so much. Queen on the flop. Nice catch for him. Just needs to dodge the river, and he'll be doubling up. He does. Well, he was aggressive and he got his reward, I guess. Bad luck for Cusco, great for BMKY. Moves him back up, and hand 116 will be a replay of these two fighting out in the blinds, and this looks bad for Cusco, doesn't it, at first glance? He will make a normal open raise. This is a dream situation for BMKY, because Cusco knows that he's shoved on him light with Queen 6. So when BMKY is aggressive here, I'm not sure if he's going to shove or just re-raise. His chances of getting action are massively increased. And it is the little re-raise. So BMKY trying to get Cusco to make an aggressive mistake. Trying to get Cusco to think, I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to be pushed around by this Queen 6 shoving lunatic. Got my own agenda. See how high I can fly. No, he just flat calls. I thought he was going to shove. He didn't. Flat calls with King Jack and misses the flop. It's interesting, though, because Cuzco won't think that that flop could possibly have helped the MKY, so his interest in the pot may not end here. 6 million in the middle. And yeah, Cuzco will try and buy it this way around. He'll try and lead out, see if he can get BMKY to just give up. BMKY thinking about his options here. I think he'll realise that he has the best hand a ton of the time with Ace-King. But he will shove. So he doesn't want this hand to go any further. And he gets the result he wants. Gets a fold. He was, I guess, bluffing with the best hand there. Cuzco throws it away. And BMKY's got the better of back-to-back blind encounters between them. Time for Bezar to get involved. Hand 131, same button and blind positions as the last two we've watched. Bezar opens, and Cuzco has just under 10 big blinds and a decision to make. Is Queen 10 big enough for him to shove? He knows that Bezar is going to call a lot of the time. It's because his stack is not that big, and he decides to fold. And it must have been a close decision for him. You'll have your own thoughts on whether he should have pulled the trigger there or not. It makes it easier when you can see Bezar has 6-5. It was sort of a close one. BMKY, meanwhile, is going to try and make the move here. He will 3-bet from the big blind. And he'll get Bezar to lay it down. So some good timing from BMKY, who's coming up fast now in this tournament. Just under 22 million, closing in on Bezar. BMKY's turn to act first. He has the button which he'll fold. And Bezar will set the short stack. Cuzco all in from the small blind. Cuzco with the easy call with the suited ace. Gets the bad news that Bezar has a pocket pair. And Cuzco needs to get lucky to continue here or will be head up. And it's tough for him now, isn't it? Bezar flops the full house. And that'll be all she wrote for Cuzco. Good final table, I think. But didn't quite have the cards when it mattered. And third place for him. The Peruvian player goes home with $92,600. Really big money now in the million. And we're head up. These two would make a deal. So they chop some of the money and they play for $20,000 and the Sunday Million title. I'll confirm the payouts at the end. But it's closer than it looked like being for a long time. Bezar and BMKY, both with decent stacks. A little bit of play left in this heads up. And they've both flopped an ace here. Any of you that have played a reasonable amount of heads up will probably relate to having the bad ace out of position is horrible. Yeah, ace 3 offsuit, that kind of thing out of position is really difficult to play. It's hard to know whether you're ahead or behind. And situations like this where he's caught the ace and he's still behind. Not a great spot for Bezar. I think he has the best hand most of the time, though. BMKY will think that too. The difference is BMKY is right. $6.5 million in the middle. BMKY looking to probably value bet all three streets here. Bets the turn and gets called. And that's a great river card because apart from a few unlikely straights, it's one that I think BMKY can value bet. How much will he go for? We've got just under 13 million in the middle. And these are the decisions. One of the things that really separates top players from average players is their bet sizing decisions. He's going to bet that many. And he's going to get a call. So value on all three streets. A nasty spot for Bezar with the dominated ace. And BMKY will take the chip lead. 36 million in his stack as we rejoin it a little bit less, but still with the lead. And a bit of a cold deck for Bezar. So Bezar's had one of those final tables where everything's gone right up until the heads up. And now it looks like he's going to get cooled. He will 3-bet with